Hi, what a mess, huh? You like my little mess down here? It's quite the little mess. Well, this is Shauna at Sew Web of Yarn. I haven't been on here for a while, so I thought I'd stop by and let you know what I'm working on. I've had a lot of life changes and I haven't done this for a while, so I hope I remember to give you all the information. First off, I'm working with Bernat Softy Baby, and it is a weight of size 3. It's machine washable and dryable, 5 ounces. It's 140 grams, 362 yards, 331 millimeters, and the color is Baby Denim Marl. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see, but it has like a little tiny bit of fuzz to it. You can't see it on the individual strands, but on the yarn, I can see just a tiny halo of fuzz. But it's really, it's pretty soft. It's not as soft as Caron Simply Soft, but it's pretty soft. And it's been tested for harmful substances, it says. And it does have some pictures on there, and I think there's a pattern inside. Yep, free pattern. Has a free pattern inside the label. Let me double check. Oh, yep, there's a free pattern in there. I bought this at my local grocery store. We had a variety store where I live, and it went out, and shortly after that, the grocery store got a couple little things of little short shelves of yarn, and this was one of them. I don't know what other colors there are with this yarn, but I think it's really pretty because it has, and I don't know if you can see the marl it has to it. So I thought I would try something. I have never knit a teddy bear. I've crocheted stuff like that, but I've knit a lot or crocheted a lot of amigurumi, but I've never knit a teddy bear. And so I know this looks like quite a little mess here, and it kind of is, but I didn't know that when you knit animals, a lot of times you knit them flat. So the pattern called for a different size yarn and different size needles. And before I go any farther, oh, let me get rid of that. Before I go any farther, this is the pattern. And I don't know if you see, I wrote up there, it says Camille Knitted Teddy Bear, and you can find this at Hobbii Yarn, and it was a free pattern at Hobbii, 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 and it was on their website. Now, if you look at the pattern, they've used safety eyes, and then to put the arms and the legs on, they've used buttons. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to embroider those because I don't know what age of child is going to play with this, because I actually don't know who I'm going to give it to or if I'm going to sell it or what I'm going to do with it. It also has a pattern for a little pink heart, and if you look really closely right there on the chest, it has an embroidered pink heart, and I'm not sure I'm going to do that. It's really cute, but I'm just not sure that I'm going to do that. So this yarn, I said, is a three weight yarn, and I don't remember what the pattern called for. The pattern she used a wool with bamboo yarn, and I don't know if you can see it up there in the corner. It's called Vintage. I'm obviously not using that, so, but she calls for 50 grams of blue, 50 grams of off-white, and 50 grams of soft pink. I don't know if you'd need 50 grams of soft pink, maybe you would if you did the little knitted heart. It calls for filling, obviously, and I have been stuffing with the non-allergic polyester or whatever it is fill. It calls for 4 buttons and 9mm eyes. She used double pointed needles. I didn't really use double pointed needles. I used circular needles, but I also just knit back and forth. I didn't knit in the round with them. It was just easier to just put it in the middle when I wasn't knitting, and then I didn't have to worry about it falling off. So these needles that I'm using they're a size 4, 3.5mm is what size I used. And I wanted to use this size. She called for a 3.0mm, but I can control my gauge pretty good, and I knitted this a little tighter than I usually knit. But I think it's working out pretty good because I'm not getting a lot of big holes where the fluff is going to come out. Now, I told you it was knit flat, and some of my sewing isn't so great. Some of it's a little better. Okay, so starting out, we got the ears here, which will not be stuffed, and they'll just be sewn on like that. I've got my 2 arms here, and if you notice at the bottom, they kind of come to a little point there, which is kind of cool. I think it is. And I've got my 2 legs. I've still got to sew the top of one of my legs here. I've got the other one sewn. I'm not sure I like the way I sewed it, but maybe it'll be okay. And then this is my head. As you can see, there's the nose, and the eyes are going to be here, and the ears up here. I'm going to sew it a little more and then stuff it a little more, so when I embroider the eyes on, I can actually have it pretty full, so I'm not going to tighten it down too much when I sew the eyes so they won't look weird. And I probably will take and sew my eyes a little snug together to give it a little sculpturing. So that's what I'm working on. It's been different to do something flat like this, but I think the color of this is pretty. I think it would also be cute in other colors, other yarns, and of course it doesn't matter what size yarn you use because that's either going to make it bigger or smaller. You can do it in all different kinds of yarns and colors. Like I said, she used wool and bamboo. This, I forgot to tell you, is 100% acrylic. So I kind of like working with acrylic. I did weigh this. It says it's 140 grams, and I weighed it after I knit all these pieces, and it's 120 grams. So I think I used about 20 grams so far on this. And I have plenty of yarn tails to do a lot of the sewing, so I don't think I'm going to have to worry about using much more yarn. I still want to crochet a small bear out of this, but I don't want it a lot bigger than this one. I just want a small bear. And I don't know if I found a pattern for that. Any suggestions would be nice on that aspect. I think it's looking really good so far, and I just got to keep working. I will check back with you and let you know how my progress is coming with all the sewing that I've got to do. I'm not that fond of sewing, but I always end up getting stuff I have to sew together, and it always looks great, and I'm proud of it, but it's still, why do I do this to myself? Oh well. For right now, that's what I've been working on. If you like these types of videos and you want to see more, like and subscribe, and I will try to find more things to do because I have other things I'm working on. So, and not everything I do is knit. I do a lot of crochet too, and I sew. So we'll see what I'm working on, and I will catch you later. Bye.